Hello, welcome back to the Making It Podcast, episode 76. Today we're in a garden. We're in Dan's garden. Dan, good to have you back, bro.
Come on, bro.
For another episode of the Making It Podcast, in-person episodes. It is so good to be back, and it is absolutely roasting. If you're not in the UK right now, then sucks to be you, to be honest, because it is absolutely roasting. It's like 33 degrees, I think, today. Is there a better day we could have done it, Dan? I don't really know.
Mate, it's lovely. We were working out where to do it at the pub at my house in the living room, and I just thought the garden is the greatest place to do it. Lovely outside, first ever outdoor podcast, and I'm excited to get talking from long shifts you've had this week to me go down to Burnley, so there's some awesome stuff to talk about. Brother, just wanted to ask you, because it's been a while since I've asked you this sort of question, because it's almost got used to you being here now. How have things been now since coming back from Australia? Because it's been a lot longer than just a couple of weeks from before.
Bro, I'm laughing because I can't believe how long this table is. You know what's funny? I was just like looking at it, I was just like acknowledging the question and then going, how long is this table? Like, we're like miles apart. Yeah, you know, it's been a bit of a mix because I've been pretty limited with money and stuff, and you know that's one of my big stresses. Like, I have an ideal in my head of what I'd like to do with my money. I'd like to save up, I'd like to go and do stuff. You know, last year I was very spontaneous going away and doing stuff apart from just obviously the Australia trip. So it's kind of hard not having that same financial freedom. But I started a new job this week, worked on Monday, worked Wednesday, working tomorrow, so Saturday, 6 till 3:30 in the morning. And then I've got airsoft on Sunday with Deck, so that's another hobby unlocked. But yeah, it's been a little bit tough, but I didn't really expect it to be easy given I've just been away for an entire year and now I'm rebuilding my life. And I've also decided to change my job. So I suppose in a way I've inflicted it on myself, but it all works out, bro. So I'm pretty happy.
Good stuff, brother. I wanted to talk about my trip down to Burnley on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Very hot day. Was a bit of a tough drive being how hot it was, especially on the way back when the aircon was like boiling hot to begin with.
Did you get the bus or what did you do?
I drove down.
Oh, you drove down?
I drove there and back. Really good day. And the Hives, that was our last ever day of doing it, and that's the fourth time going in. This time it was at the training centre. We got a training tour, got to look around at the kit room, like see where like Cowes Walker's boots are, and
Crazy.
like Charlie Adams' towel was and stuff like that, and get to meet the kit people and just see all sorts, like the offices from the COOs to just where HR are and stuff. And it was a really good day, and I really embraced those moments and had some really cool, interesting chats. I spoke to you before about how we had someone about emerging talent.
Yeah.
I thought you'd find that really interesting. And we had the COO come in and speak, Matt Williams. He was really awesome. I'll get into stuff about him. And we had some player care stuff, which I found interesting from a sports site perspective. And it was just a really cool day. And I think I've really enjoyed the Hive. And what I have found interesting is over the whole time we did the Hive, there was only 6 people that went to every single day. Bear in mind the first day there was about 30 people. It was a full room. A lot of people kind of were in and out. Some people didn't go out at all after the first one. And it made me think, we speak so much about just sticking at things and doing things and being consistent. And for me it was quite difficult to see some people had that opportunity and they didn't want to take it, you know? And some people I know for a fact, if you were on it, you'd lavish at that opportunity. Do you know what I mean?
I'd have lived in Burnley for a month.
Yeah. And it's like, some people were travelling down from London and spending 2 nights in Burnley to do these Hive days, and some people never showed up again. So I think it just highlighted how important it is to just stick to things and do things, because people really rate commitment. It doesn't go unnoticed. But Matt Williams, now, his was a very interesting story, because I was telling you how he became a website designer at Blackpool and all of a sudden built his way up to being practically the COO there, ended up going to Shrewsbury and then ended up at Burnley. And I asked him the question, do you think most of your career was about learning just by doing? And he said it was. How important is that, just learning by doing it, minus qualifications and everything?
Well, we were speaking about unis and stuff last week, bro, you know, and I had students text me, and shout out to anyone that interacted with the podcast last week. We do appreciate it, and obviously all the podcasts before that as well. And the idea that when you don't go to university, for some people there's like this kind of just this wall. It's like, well, what do I do then? I applied for this job, it needs a graduate. I applied for this job, it needs a graduate. My number one piece of advice would be maybe stop applying for graduate jobs. Like, probably, because bro, you see a job link on the internet and it says graduates needed. You haven't got a uni qualification, so why are you trying to worry about that? But there is so many jobs in the world where you just need to be committed. You just need to be skilled and you need to have basic knowledge of things. Like with football, bro, if you know football and you understand football, you can probably work in football, right? Like most of the coaches we see today haven't all been big time pros who've earned loads of money and had the privilege of being able to just jump to a UEFA C or a UEFA A or a pro or like all these different things. They've had to work for it. And even the players that have played, they've still had to work for the coaching badges and things like that. So I think for me, bro, like not having the degree and hearing stories like his is inspiring, bro, because you do sometimes think, and I sometimes think to myself, did I make a mistake not going to university and getting that degree? And then I hear things like that and I'm like, it's down to the person. So I think that if you really want something, bro, you'll go and get it, won't you?
100%. And he did go to uni. He did get a degree, but it was nothing related to what he does now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. And he said the best advice he can give to us is be nosy, have an opinion, want to learn, ask questions, don't be afraid to ask. And another person, the lead performance analysis in the academy, said that as well. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Be that pain. And I mentioned that to you the other day about having an opinion. And you said you find that quite important and you feel like people these days don't have as much an opinion or are scared to have one.
I think so, bro. You know, I think I've been that is still me to some respect. Like, I worry that jumping into circles like content creation or coaching or scouting or all these things, that you're just going to be put down because you don't have the knowledge or you don't have the portfolio of someone else. But the whole point is that they started somewhere, and the reason they got somewhere is because they had an opinion. They believed in what they're saying and they provided evidence for it. And that's what life is, right? You believe in something, provide your evidence for it. If you believe you're going to do something, your evidence is your willingness to go and do it. And that, I think, is why when people are scared to have an opinion, that they just don't make that progression. What I've noticed for me is, Dan, is that when I have an opinion, I don't always gain followers, but I gain traction, and that's okay. And that's just from a numbers perspective. But when I have an opinion, I've noticed that I do progress, because if I'm wrong, and you know, an opinion, it's like a subjective thing. If I'm wrong, or if someone thinks this could be better because of this, well, then I'm only going to win because I'm adding another perspective. I'm adding knowledge to what I've said. So being afraid to have an opinion limits your ability to have a stronger opinion in the near future, to have a developed opinion, and to being more knowledgeable. So why do you think people are scared to have an opinion, Dan? What's holding people back?
I mean, I can admit myself as well, sometimes I'm scared to have an opinion on things, and I think it's because you're worried about how people, your reputation.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing. You don't want that to be tarnished. Oh, he said that about this. And all of a sudden, especially these days, bro, you say one thing about something and then people almost attach that to you for the rest of your life.
But is there a difference between, because I think you might be verging on insults there. And I don't think we're necessarily coming from the angle of insulting someone, because I think opinions and insults are different. Like, I know I've always mentioned to you about doing something football related, but I know that you've been kind of worried because of, if you don't mind me saying, because you don't want it to reflect bad on you should you decide to work in a football club. But I always think that if you're just having an opinion that's not necessarily to the detriment of someone, it's like we watched England the other day, and probably a little bit more expletive than what I'm about to say now, but I don't think that Noni Madueke had a particularly great game. If you're going to talk about that on a podcast, all you're doing is saying, I don't really think he should be starting for England, here's why. Doesn't take away from the fact that he's a great footballer and he represents England and he should be amazingly, like, he should be so proud of himself. But the point is, it's like, there is a difference between you saying, this is my opinion on a footballer based on this, versus he's fucking shit. You know what I mean? And I don't think everyone separates that, in fairness.
And I think it's hard having opinions on things like that, because have you been in that person's shoes? And there is that whole freedom of speech thing, and I think that I know where you're coming from. There's nothing wrong with having a certain emotion about something, and I think holding ourselves back from, if we feel something about someone or something like a footballer or the way someone teaches, like, as long as it's not, like you say, an insult, then it's not an issue. But something that I find what is really interesting, and you even find it working in the pub.
Yeah.
Just telling someone, oh, like, you need to clear those plates, or did you clean the back fridge or something like that. Don't we struggle to just nudge people in the right directions because we're so concerned about being an arsehole of like telling people what to do? Isn't that an interesting one as well?
Yeah, well, it's the fear of confrontation, isn't it? I think now I've had the time away, I've actually discovered, and being at home, I've discovered that the best way to be with people is up front. You know, the other day I was at work for this new job, and I was like, I need to talk to them about my coaching and days that I can't work. And I was putting it off. I didn't even want to text him. And then I saw him in the kitchen, and I was like, do I just say it? And I went, yeah, do you know what? These are the days I can't work. Is that all right? Yeah, no worries, mate. Thanks for coming and telling me. It's like, why were you scared of that? It's like, you know, sometimes, bro, I don't like answering phone calls, or I don't like to call someone. It's, you know, like if I'm, you know, late with work pay, or I want to have a day off, or I want to do something. Why are we scared to call people? And we just text them because it's like, oh, okay, never mind. They can't get me now. What? It's like, you're going to ring them. Hey, old mate, you're right. Yeah. Can we sort this out? Yeah, no worries. All right. So that wasn't even daunting at all. So I feel like the reason we are scared is because we've become so accustomed to hiding behind this wall that is the ether of social media, of texting, everything. Texting might be one of the most detrimental things to ever happen to humanity, because it has killed one-to-one confrontation. It has killed one-to-one like chat. It's killed, I think in some respects, right? It's killed romance. It's killed love. You know, it's killed everything.
It's killed.
Texting has killed everything. But it has, bro. Like, it has killed everything, because there are people now that live in online relationships where they pretty much just text each other.
And on regards on what you were talking about when you were speaking to a manager about what shifts you can't do, I was listening to Jay Shetty with Michael B. Jordan,
Yeah.
and one of the main highlights of that podcast was he said, don't be so afraid to say something to someone, be honest about something, because often what we expect them, how them to receive it, and how that they're going to, almost like confrontation side, is there going to be conflict, never actually happens.
Yeah.
And it's massive, because let's say, I don't know, just let's give an example of, like, there was something in our friendship which one of us, it was bugging the other. We're in a good friendship where we will just be honest about something if that was the case. But sometimes we're so afraid to say it to certain people because we're worried that they're going to be like upset about it, or they're not going to enjoy what you said, and you're no longer going to have the same relationship as you had. But so often the way people receive things is never as much as you build up in your head.
We have had a time like that, bro. I'm not afraid to say that with this argument. We were in The Crown.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember? Now,
dressed as Steve Irwin in a koala.
So yeah, you were dressed as a koala. I'm dressed as Steve Irwin. And this is for my leaving do. Now, I saw someone in there who, to add context, there was a group of people attempting to, what I assume, mug me. They pulled me into a chicken shop. This was late in the night while I was walking through town. And this person didn't help me in that situation. They decided to walk off with someone that I know. And the person they walked off with, they were the person that helped me. And it was a woman. Now, I wouldn't, if I was in a situation like that, I wouldn't want to put a girl or a woman or whatever, like, I wouldn't want to put them in danger. That's, I think as men, and if, you know, I know it doesn't apply, and I know that in modern culture it's like everyone will look after each other. I get that, and I'm not making some sort of toxic point. I'm saying that as brothers, as blokes, we look out for each other. And on that occasion, he didn't look out for me, and he left me there. So I'm not friends with this person. And I saw this person in the pub, and they wanted to shake my hand. And I'm like, I'm not shaking your fucking hand, because you don't deserve that. You left me there, and you didn't agree with that. And I think that testament to your personality, bro, and I respect it so much. You want to see the best in everyone. And this is my next topic, actually, I want to get onto.
Let's do it, bro.
Let's do it. You want to see the best in everyone, and we had a bit of a spat about it. I don't think it was quite physical, but it was quite passionate. You know, we'd had a few beers.
It was only brief, and it wasn't a big thing.
It was very brief, and I think in the end we were both like, that was a bit pathetic. But like, I don't want to see the best in everyone, Dan, and I don't want to see the best.
What do you mean by that?
Or no, let me rephrase it. What do you mean by that? No. Let me put it this way. I'm not out there to see the best in everyone. That's not my intention. My intention is to see someone for who they are.
Okay.
So
You're not searching for them
I'm
being
not searching,
better than they actually
no.
are.
Yeah. That's why I'm wording it differently. I'm not searching for someone to be something, different, but I am not actively searching for the best in people. I'm actively searching for the authenticity. I'm actively searching for you, right? For that person, whoever. And that incident proved my point, I feel, because why should I see the best in someone that has really disrespected me and, in my opinion, proved who they are?
Yeah, and this is something which has always been something that conflicts in my mind. And I often feel like I give people too many chances, and then something happens where it's like, okay, that's not even worth giving a chance. Like, that's got to be cut off now. And I've definitely found that with some relationships, and it's one of those things which sometimes I'm like, should I be like that? I should probably be a bit more kinder to myself and be like, just cut that off. You already knew that was probably going to happen. But I also quite like that side of me who gives those people like a few chances, because I want to see that side in people. But it really relates to a quote which I mentioned a couple of weeks ago and has really resonated with me, is look at what is, not what should be.
Yeah.
And how often do people chase an ideal of someone or how someone used to be, hoping that that person comes back? People change. People aren't always going to be the same. True colours come out. And it's tough, it's really hard to take, because you once cherished really good moments with that person. You cherish a different side of that person which you hope is still there. But sometimes that's gone. And it relates to when we were talking about the train and how some people will be on it the whole journey and some people hop on and off, bro. And there's nothing wrong with those people that hop on and off. They come for their different purposes. But there's so much right about those people that stay on the whole time. And you've got to be kind to yourself and understand that some people do take the piss out of you sometimes, and it's important to understand that. And I've definitely got better at that growing up, because sometimes you do chase what should be as opposed to what is.
Dan just swore, by the way. I'm just marking that one down. Yeah, bro. Look, with that whole situation, going back to that, I actually would have preferred that to have never happened. Like, I was just going on a night out with my mates, and then that happened. So I will give chances to people. Even with the whole thing in Australia, bro, I still reached out to Beck and said, let's get a coffee. The difference is she showed her character before that, and I said, I'm still going to give you a chance, even though I don't think you're a good person. And then she emphasised my point. I'm not looking to be right and prove that people are bad people, or prove that people aren't good enough to be someone that I should be friends with. But at the same time, bro, if I discover that someone's like that, I'm not going to waste any time with them. And neither should you, because life is too short, and progression comes from being around good people, I think.
100%. It's like when we spoke about value and environment the other day and how important that is. Now, you've passed on a book to me, Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey.
How far in are you?
I'm 95 pages in.
Okay.
And I've really been enjoying it. I've been getting really excited to read the book at night, when I'm on the toilet, whatever. And there's a period in that book where he talks about, I've just read this part, so it's perfect, where he talks about going and staying with a family on an exchange program, the Dooleys, and he doesn't have the greatest of time because they're quite interesting, and he was with them for 6 months. Funny enough, the same period you had with Beck.
Yeah.
Now, reading that, I wanted to ask you this question. I think it's good for the podcast because it's been something we've spoke about for so many months now, with you being in Australia and you being back. How did that part of the book really resonate with you?
Well, it resonated with me because it made me feel like I wasn't the only person that had been through that very specific scenario. Millions of people have been to Australia and done a year out. I'm not special in that respect. I'm sure there's thousands of people called Jamie that have done it. There's probably 100, same name exactly, but that scenario felt very unique to me. And it felt weird because it's one of the people I look up to in life that's been through that. And in a way, you almost think, am I the next?
All right.
All right. No, but you look at stuff like that and you go, I either go into a mind of, I'm going to go on simulation theory and become a conspiracy theorist and say that, like, this is all not real. Or what I really do is I go, wow, like that he actually did that. Like he had the same experience. Like how strange is that? He went in with an expectation of this family and was completely blown away by what they were and who they were. And I found that so interesting. And more interestingly, that Gosford, in the central coast kind of area of Sydney, that was obviously near where I lived for most of my time out there. So I just found it really interesting that we'd been through a very similar thing, yet he's a multi-millionaire star actor, you know, and I'm chilling doing a podcast with you now. But like, we've got that relatability. And I think that when you can relate to someone you look up to, it gives you a sort of clarification, and it gives you a little bit of a push to kind of realise that they've been through it.
And it's cool to see as well, because these characters, we see these people at their heights.
Yeah.
The time we've been around and actually been interested in Matthew McConaughey is when he's been there, done that. So hearing what he was like at our age and what he went through, and hearing his background and his childhood, it just highlights how much time you have, and how you see these people and you idolise them and you think they've always been like that.
Yeah.
But they've gone through their hardships, they've gone through a long way to get there. And all these things you want to do in your life, and this is a great message, is good things take time. And we rush so much, we get impatient, we almost want results straight away. And I think it's so important to realise that nothing good comes easy, bro. And if it comes easy, then I'll be watching your back thinking, like, what's going on
It's probably
here?
not good.
But it's really awesome to see that sort of side of him, bro. But I gotta say, man, we talk about gratitude a lot, bro, and I'm so grateful to be sat here with you right now in this garden doing the podcast. I felt a really nice peace about me today, man, and it's been really awesome, bro.
It's been a great day. You know, I think like being outside more is good. I've noticed that with dealing with like anxiety or feelings that you're experiencing, the best thing is putting your phone down. I was at work and I was constantly getting distracted. Text messages also. I turned Do Not Disturb off. Even with Do Not Disturb on, you think, is there a notification though? And text messages and notifications are the worst things to happen to society. Because, bro, you're just addicted to checking.
And you feel like you need to answer it straight away, don't you?
And the heat meant that I just leave my phone in the van. It's too hot to be in my pocket. I'll leave it in the van. And then when I did that, I didn't have music on. I was just listening to outside or talking to Craig, or shout out to Craig, shout out to Steve. You know, just talking to the guys I work with. And it's like, you know, you're just hearing the wind, you're hearing the birds, you're just hearing that bee flying by you. Like, you're actually taking it all in a little bit more, and you haven't got the distraction. I go back in the van and I forget I've even brought my phone. And then I'm checking my text going, oh, bloody hell, loads of stuff's happened, I didn't even realise. And it's nice, it's bliss. So I feel like if you are feeling like you've got a bit of a clogged mind, or you are a little bit anxious, put the phone down. Like, because you're worrying so much about everything that's going on outside. It's like you don't even need to. Just live. Just be present in that moment, you know, which we've been saying forever, Dan. But like, I think that the world's got a bit of a presence problem.
For sure, bro. And I think it gives you that room to think, to breathe when you're away from technology and you're just in somewhere. I used to really enjoy it with my running. It was really, really awesome to have a couple hours of just me and my thoughts. And for the first time the other day, I wore headphones. My dad's got some really cool like headphones. Like,
oh, them bone conductor
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
I saw that, yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. It was cool, like, for one moment. But I really do enjoy going out there and running without headphones, because you're just present, you're in the moment. And I know it's something we speak about a lot, but there's always a reason for that.
So I just think that, like, the being outside thing, bro, is massive. You know, the theme of being outside has been pretty present for us, hasn't it?
Even this is like lovely. Like,
This
it
is
makes
great.
a difference doing the podcast. You
You've
feel
got
a
a
bit
nice
more in
garden.
it, a bit more present yourself.
Yeah, you got a nice garden there. I think you got some lemongrass there. Is that right?
I
Lemon
ain't got-
balm.
I ain't got
Lemon
a
balm.
clue,
Pick
mate.
a leaf out, Dan. Pick a leaf out. I want to smell it. Let's have a look. It's lemon balm. Yeah.
There you go. E-Gardens.
It's nice. It's nice stuff. But even, you know, just being out, like, this is one thing about it, Dan, is I finish work and I'm like, I'm knackered. You know, you've been out gardening all day, you've been, you know, labouring and putting in some hard graft, like getting yourself covered in thorns and lemon balm. And you're like, geez, that was really tough. But you've been outside all day, you've been in the elements, you've had the nice breeze hitting your skin most days. Obviously Wednesday and Thursday wasn't that nice. But I enjoy my job. You know, like I was there on yesterday, and even before we got told we were going home early, I was like, I'm in a good mood today. Like let's enjoy it. Why not? Because if we are at work, can we not at least try and get a little bit of enjoyment out of it? Even if you don't enjoy your job, anything. You know, if you see someone having a bit of a bad time, can you poke a little bit of fun with them? Can you like try and get them like talking, or can you do something like, as long as you're being productive and doing your job, can we not try and enjoy it even if we are struggling a bit? And I know that we're in a very privileged position where we can just enjoy work with limited stress. But while we can do that, and while others can do that, why don't they do that?
100%, bro. And you look back on moments and you want to be able to look back and think, I actually made the most of that, because that story I've mentioned a good few months ago now about that man in New York, and he said to his partner, I really enjoyed our time in New York. And she was like, you were miserable, you were grumpy. Because the idea of it, when he looked back in the past, he really enjoyed it. It seems like a great idea, but in the actual time, he wasn't actually embracing that. And I think it's so important to realise that these times are going to fly by. They're going to become a past memory one time. So let's make sure we can look back on that experience and really say we were in it and we made the most of it.
Yeah, make the most of it. Keep making it podcast. But I just want to say as well, like, you know, every time we get the privilege of having like 3 cameras and having these great microphones and the laptop and just like having like a background like this, so grateful, you know, and I think that the podcast has been doing really well recently, and we're really grateful for it. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your support. I don't know which camera to speak into. Thank you for your support. We really do appreciate it, and we would like to do more with this podcast. We'd like to go to more places like this, you know, now that we know we can do it. We would like to interview more people in similar situations and different situations. We want to just do more with this podcast. So if you're interested in jumping on and talking to us about anything, you can be anyone. We just want to hear your story. And if you want to help us out, drop us a follow on Spotify, subscribe to us on YouTube, Making It Poddy on all our social media. Like, just give us a hand. It helps us out. And at the end of the day, if you help us out, we'll help you out. Everyone's scratching each other's back, aren't they, Dan? Really, that's just how it goes. But 76 episodes in, Dan. What a journey we're on.
Come on, brother. I really appreciate you, man. Thanks for another episode.
Thank you very much. Episode 76, Making It Podcast. See you next Tuesday, every Tuesday, 10 in the morning. See you later.
Peace out.